Hi, everybody. This is Supervisor James Gore, Sonoma County. Going to give you an update today. It's Wednesday, June 3rd. Going to do a hot minute on a couple items. New health order coming out, getting everybody prepared for the weekend. Number two is what's going on, thoughts and needs with the protests that are going on in our streets all around the country and here locally. And number three is a third item people have been asking me a lot, which is my opinion and my position on our interaction with the sheriff and enforcement of our orders. I'll start with the last of those, with the sheriff's position and the alignment with enforcement of our orders. I'm going to refer all of you to attached language that I put below this video. I don't want to give more voice to division in our community. That's why what you see below you is a real assessment of where we need to go together. Basically, I think a lot of what happened with the sheriff and the board of supervisors this last week created too much confusion in the community. It was addressed in the wrong way. And as I said, I'm not going to give voice to that right now. You can read it. You can tell me what your thoughts are. You can tell me if you think I'm right or wrong. I honor that. Secondly, I'll go to the second item, the protests. I want to be firm that the killing while in police custody of George Floyd in Minnesota, as so many things we've seen around our country, yesterday being the birthday of our departed Andy Lopez, and the issues here locally, all these things that are going around the country. I am not here as a white guy to tell you my thoughts. I'll tell you what I'm doing is that I'm trying to be empathetic, compassionate, and listen and learn from the voices that are going on around me, and listening to the frustration and the real need for progress and for us to embrace this moment. I penned an op-ed, close to home in the Press Democrat this past week. We'll include a link down below. It talked about a white guy trying to call out white privilege. Some people don't like that message. They think it attacks their ability to be a go-getter and go into this world. I personally believe that those of us who have our hands on the controls of the levers and the knobs, and the system was built up around us, it's a requirement, it's a responsibility, it's a duty for us to reach out and to make sure we understand, not anecdotally, but personally, what's going on in the vulnerable communities around us, the disenfranchised communities around us, and that we change internally institutionalized work and also continue to do the outreach necessary to go forward. Back to the business of the health order. I want to start by saying that the Board of Supervisors and the County Health Officer, Dr. Sundari Mace, have been aligned on this methodology for the last month. As you all know, we hit the pause button because we had a surge in hospitalizations, in ICU cases, and also a surge in positive tests in Sonoma County above our public health criteria. At the same time, we are ready and going forward to be able to make an announcement later this week to prepare for opening over the weekend and into early next week. What that means is the rest of what's called phase two. So that's beaches, which has already been announced as of yesterday. That's also destination retail, which is indoor shopping and all of our small businesses that we've been dying to get back into. That's faith-based services up to 100 people. If indoor it can handle it, up to 100 people outdoor if it can handle it, with social distancing, hygiene, excuse me, and other things embedded into it. That's also the ability to protest. 100 people or less, that comes out of the governor's office with a guidance. And the last one is hair salons and barber shops, but for haircutting specifically. So we are moving more into opening. I want to thank everybody for what you've done to make our flattening of the curve successful. What we worked on yesterday at the Board of Supervisors meeting was making sure that as we open, if we have a resurgence of COVID, and I was a big leader in this conversation, is we have to be able to not restrict the same way that we restricted in the first round. So you imagine whether it's this summer or because we're opening or in the fall, if we have a resurgence of COVID, the last thing I want to be a part of or that I will support in the future is shutting those same small businesses first. I'd rather see the big business stores that had a ton of people in them and a ton of business be the ones that bear the burden instead of small businesses. Secondly, faith-based religious services, but also other community hubs. This isn't just about religion. It's about the ability to connect with people and congregate in a smart, effective way. Some of our rules and our laws right now, because they were made in haste, responding to a crisis, are still inconsistent. And we need to fix that. And that's what yesterday's board meeting was all about. And yesterday's meeting with Dr. Mace, who we are completely in partnership with as the Board of Supervisors. She is an epidemiological expert. She is a doctor. And for all the crack doctors out there who are trying to send me their information and say that she doesn't have a leg to stand on, I'm sorry, I'm not listening to you. You're not my doctor. I'm listening to doctor's orders. But at the same time, I'm fighting for practical, common sense solutions. And I acknowledge, and Dr. Mace acknowledged, that the laws made in haste, the order made in haste, has created an inconsistent system of winners and losers. And that's what we've been focused on moving forward on from the beginning. So I want to make sure that you know that we've also identified the different job classes of the individuals who have contracted COVID. If you go to socoemergency.org, you click on the dashboard, and if you go to the dashboard, one of the tabs says demographics and also job classes. You go into that and you can identify how many folks were either service workers, unemployed, farm workers, different things like that. It'll show you where it's going. The other thing is I want to make sure that all of you join us in rising up and demanding justice in this time more than anything. I saw Police Chief Navarro take a knee a couple days ago online with his protesters in Santa Rosa. I've heard on the other side a lot of concern about how police have been conducting and managing the protesters in our community. And I want you to stay safe, stay loud, stay vigilant, and join us in a call to action to unite our community. There are so much frustration. Please read the comments that I've put below, not just for comments on sheriff or police or other things, but read about it and think about it. All of us, the common theme that we share these days is uncertainty and frustration. We have to turn that into hope that we can overcome this moment and that it won't just be a vaccine that saves us from ourselves. We have to focus on the fact that we have the ability, we are the ones we've been waiting for, to own this moment and to be able to open effectively. What's next? Well, we have to change our paradigm and look over the course of the next year. We have to understand that a vaccine might not be ready in 4, 6, 8, 12, or even 18 months. And we have to prepare for that reality, even if it doesn't come. Prepare for the worst, hope for the best. Thank you all for joining me in Sonoma County and throughout the state on all of this mess that we've been working on. Imperfect, relentless progress. In the fires, we learned that it's the only way forward. You have to keep working, keep demanding better. If you get something right, check it off, keep going better, keep pushing, keep moving. Love to you. Take care.